Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Listening to the Pure Advice Podcast. The purpose of this show is to give advice through means of experience, insight, and explanation. With the help of viewers and listeners, topics are discussed in an open forum with many perspectives and opinions, leaving all judgments at the door. Enjoy the show.
Listen up. Here we go.
Pure Advice Podcast. What is up, my dude? How you doing, my brother?
Pure Advice Podcast.
Pure Advice Podcast.
Pure Advice Podcast.
What up, though?
Pure Advice Podcast.
What up? Oh my God, is that Pap? Holy shit, dude. What up, Pap?
Wait, is that Pure Advice Podcast? Hold on. Is that Pat? Oh! F Pat. Put that in your podcast.
and in to the podcast it went. Welcome everybody to the Pure Advice Podcast. I'm your host Tony. First off, Badger, Koopa, what's happening? Welcome. Come on in, grab a seat, grab something cold. Jules, Lou over on Mixer, thank you very much for joining me on the show. Apparently he wants us to join and say "fuck you, man." Well, oh well. Julian, what's happening? SR choosing Sizzin? I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. Brother R Zeppy, what's happening? Stop by to give the bump. About to go widen the skill gap on some MW. Thank you very much, Zeppy. I appreciate the love, man. Love the intro, by the way. Man, you're too kind. I appreciate that. Thank you guys very much for coming and joining me today. If you don't already know, this is good luck with the campfire, Badger says. Oh man, the bat. What's happening? What's this deal with the campfire? I don't know. Anyways, thank you guys very much for joining me on the show. Let's switch up this music. There's been a lot of talk about DCMAs and music and all kinds of stuff. So let's get that going right away. I won't do this. I won't pretend to be able to do this smoothly. So I'm just gonna swipe it right over. Swap this right over, and there we go. Perfect. You guys already know I gotta have some background music, some background sounds, something, because I'm OCD like that. I can't take the sounds of the background of the fans and shit. I can't do it. Put that in your podcast. Oh, okay. Oh, song request. My bad. Sorry about that, Jules. I don't have song requests on right now. We're just doing background music, no copyright sounds. By the way, I want to make that very clear. All music for this episode and all others, more than likely you guys will hear NCM 24/7 live stream gaming music radio, no copyrighted music, dubstep, trap, EDM, electro house, and you can find them over on YouTube. Monster Fluff Music. They got 446,000 subscribers. Lou says, "Can I fact you?" I don't know what fact is, but I'll pass on this one, Lou. I'll pass, but thank you for the offer. I'm flattered. Anyways, like I was saying, the whole DCMA thing, I caught some of Trex's stream about it. I didn't get a chance to watch the VOD, and I apologize for the disrespect. Apologize for the disrespect on that to Trex. I really wanted to watch that. Just kidding, Julian says. Wow, this music is trash, he says. NCS is a lifesaver, though. Absolutely it is, Badger. Absolutely it is.
You have to see this.
Let's move forward. Anyways, that DCMA, man, the music stuff.
Oh my god, you have to see this.
I'm kind of glad early on. That I've always stuck to and just used NCS. Oops, I pressed buttons. Sorry about that, you guys. I always used NCS music. NCS anything, and this was in 2000 and maybe. Actually, as a matter of fact, it was shortly after I had started doing the podcast, maybe a half a year in, maybe 6 months in. What happened to the music? Well, try to refresh the page, or nope, it's just done. All right, we're gonna switch over to NCS 24/7 gaming music. They got something going on. My mouse is stuck or something. All right. NCS Gaming Music 24/7 live stream. You can find them at NCS Arcade over on YouTube. Anyways, we're gonna just throw on something. Anyway, I'm just glad that I used NCS Music shortly after I was doing non-live podcasts. So I would always record, edited all the crap out of it, and then splice in the same intro song and the same outro song. Always did that. Always got accustomed to it. So then once I moved over platforms to doing stuff live, I started doing only NCS. That's great. Brother Griffin, thank you very much for dropping by. Griff, yeah, how is it going with the voice acting? Stack Up Charity Streams coming, furlough plenty, he says. All right. Congratulations, by the way, Griffin. Now that you're here, congratulations on the voice acting stuff. I really hope that's going to start. I thought it started, right? You already started doing that? If you did, congratulations. And good luck, man. Also, now charity streams, probably throw some cash your way for those streams, my man. Oh, yes. So anyways, final episode of the season. I hesitate to say the podcast. Brother Griff says, yeah, I'm 3 weeks in on classes and cast on 2 different things. Or what? Dude, that's fucking great. That's incredible. Congratulations. Damn. Well, I'm a little late because you're already on three weeks in, so I apologize about that. But that's fucking good. Congratulations, man. It's very cool, but we ain't here for me. Do you think, man? No, of course. Julian, thank you very much for following.
Distorting space-time.
Distorting space-time. Don't. Thank you very much for that follow, Jules. I appreciate that. I am here for you, Griff. We're all here for each other. And definitely gonna shine the spotlight. Hopefully you don't mind. I'll shine the spotlight on you, brother. Congratulations, man. That's really, really good. We ain't here for me. Do your thing, man. I appreciate that. Such a humble person. Thank you very much, man. But as I was saying, I dare not say end of the podcast. I'm not quite sure. I was really thinking about it the other day, man. I was just sitting back and I was just thinking to myself, like, man, I haven't done a podcast for a little while. It's been a little while, and I was getting to a point where I had no desire, no energy, nothing to get back in here in this space, get back in here and do another show. It was tough. It's been probably a month. If I'm not mistaken, it's been over a month that I did a last episode. The last episode I did was the gun cleaning one, and then I effed that, messed that up, broke a piece off that 22 long rifle. So that thing, I don't know what to do with it, man. I'm gonna do something with it. I just don't know what I'm gonna do. So anyways, that was the last episode, and I don't know. I had things planned. I had some things planned for the show, how I wanted to, and that turned out great. Don't get me wrong, that turned out great because I was able to do those things. I'm gonna move this mic around a little bit because I was able to do those things and accomplish what I set out to do, what I set my goals to, and I accomplished it. I don't know. Should be easy to find a replacement piece. I looked into it, Griff, and it's gonna be like $60 for that piece. I probably could get that piece, but I don't even think the rifle is worth that much. I try to clean it as best I can, and it's missing some bolts that hold the barrel to the stock and all that, to the trigger assembly. It's about $60 plus shipping another $20. I don't even think the rifle is worth that amount. This rifle is old. It's before 2000 it was made. Marlin Firearms, somewhere on the East Coast, Maryland, I think, or something to that effect. But I think if I went down to the local gun shop, I can probably get a really good 22 long rifle. I don't know, 5-6 rounds for, I don't know, $100 or something. In the long run, it'll probably be better, but I'm not really attached to this rifle. It's over there in the corner. You guys probably can't see it, but I'm not really attached to it. There's no sentimental value. I don't. And also, Mrs. Pat was like, it's not really probably worth investing into. But I cleaned the best I could. That piece broke, unfortunately, but the other pieces are old, man. It had some other stuff. It had some other stuff that's just I dare, and I'm saying this again. I dare say, it just. I wouldn't feel safe. I wouldn't feel safe using it. Even if I did repair it and I put all new parts in it, it'd be well over $200 to do like a rebuild of it. But anyways, that's another conversation. I did have plan on doing my 10 gauge. I'm sorry. Is it 10 gauge? No, it's 510. I'm sorry, 510, 410 gauge shotgun. But I haven't taken that to the range to shoot it yet. Heck, at that point, buy another rifle, same type, and keep as backup parts. I don't even think they sell that gun anymore. Marlin Firearms was actually purchased by. I was purchased by another company, and they stopped making that rifle altogether. So you're saying if you went to go shoot it, it might have a major malfunction. I'm saying that if I was to go and shoot with it, the parts are so old and some of them are so worn, like the bolt action is so worn on one side, I feel like I would have a lot of like what is it called, not dry fire, but where the pin wouldn't strike the round correctly, a misfire or something, and I definitely don't want to put anybody's life in danger because of that. So I'd rather just set it aside, find out how I can get rid of it. Maybe ask the local gun store if they recycle guns. I don't know how confident I feel about that, just because of that the serial number on it. It was purchased by a family relative many years ago, and I don't want that thing to go into the wrong hands. So I mean, maybe a gun store would probably be the best way to go. So back to what I was saying. I was just kind of contemplating the podcast, man. I was contemplating the podcast, and I was just thinking about, when's the next episode I was going to do. And I got to thinking that if for whatever reason I was going to do another one, it was going to be sometime soon, and I really had no idea what I was going to do it about. Usually the podcast structure is I invite people in to come in. We have some good conversations. And another delay was everything that's been going on, the riots, the Black Lives Matter movement. I mean, just this whole turmoil that was going on. And it was really, really affecting me. One story that I'll regale you guys with was I was talking to Mrs. Pap about this stuff when everything started going on, the loot, the rioting, and the protesting. Some of these videos, man, just really, really, and I'm not saying these videos are everything that was going on, because there was peaceful protest. That I wouldn't say I'm well-rounded, but I knew and I understand and I grasped the entire scope of things. Brother Jules, yeah, man, we do need to hang out soon. Go for a drive, man, just like the old days. So I grasped the idea of things, and I knew that it just wasn't these videos I was watching on Twitter. And if some of you guys follow me on Twitter, I was retweeting a lot of just crazy, just disorderly type of shit with law enforcement, things like that. But it really got to a point where I started having a conversation with Mrs. Pap, and I was showing her some of these videos, and I was so distraught. And I'm not saying that these things are affecting me directly. They affect all of us, especially with law enforcement and the way things are run. with this democracy and legislature and all that stuff, it just hit me so hard. It made me so distraught, so sad, man. I felt so much sadness that all these things were going on around the world, and it just, I couldn't put it any other way, man. It just made me really, really sad.
Get it. I used
and
to be legit.
not to go into it too much.
In fact, I was too legit.
I was too legit.
I was too legit to quit. But now, I'm not legit. I'm unlegit.
And for that
For
reason,
that reason, I must quit.
you must quit. Brother Knifeflex, man. Brother Knifeflex, welcome. And I was just so distraught, man, and just like I was saying, I was talking to her about some of these things, and it brought me to tears. Like I was talking to Mrs. Pap, and I was trying to explain these things, and it brought me to tears. It hit me with so much sadness that this is the country we live in right now. This is the times right now, 2020. Rioting and looting and peaceful protests, of course, and protests and law enforcement doing the things that, anyways, I won't get into it, man, because it's bringing back those feelings. But it just got me thinking, like, I really don't want to talk about that on another episode. Everybody is inundated with all this stuff in the media for themselves, the news, whatever. The last thing I want to do is to blubber like an idiot, talking about some of these things when everybody's already just subjected to it. And that also delayed the next podcast episode. Badger says, I highly agree with the protesters that don't care too much for the station burning in Minnesota. However, the whole looting and burning of small businesses is just complete bullshit and dumb to do. I agree, Badger. I agree. There's conspiracy theories, and there's things that going out there, the bricks theory and the that's being used. It's the illegal gas. I can't quote and I can't say too much on it, but I think the Geneva Convention, there's something where tear gas is not supposed to be used, like not even in war against other countries. I don't know. Anyways, but you're right. It is incredibly sad, and my heart goes out to everybody affected by the death of George Floyd and the many other names that I don't have up, and I feel so disrespectful for that. But all these people, they're people, man. Not even just the color of their skin, but just people. They're human beings, man. They're dying for what? For negligent. Anyways, look, this shit got me really passionate, man, and I didn't want to bring that. Not that it's negativity, just that type of environment. I didn't want to bring that on the show, and I didn't want to subject even more of that to people who want to just come and hang out and have a good conversation. So that also delayed everything, man. That delayed the show. I wasn't in any state of mind to do it. Who is Miss Pat? Mrs. Pat? Jules. That's your Nina. These things are horrible, but as cliche as this sounds, you got to keep your head high and look forward. Stay positive, and even in these weird and dark times, there's always going to be a light at the end of the tunnel, my friend. I agree with you, Badger. I agree 100%. It's at that moment in time going through it, it's hard to see that. And, I don't want to go on this rant to inspire sympathy or to feel sorry for me. Out of everything in this world, for me, because of my feelings, all invested in these persons and these people that are dying senselessly for no reason other than carelessness and whatever the situation is. But we won't get into it. Griff says the most important part is 2020 is bringing the clarity to all this. I absolutely agree. That's another point, is that even through this, as many petitions as I can sign, as many things that I can do to actively try to support anybody and everybody that's affected, outside of just going to the front lines of the protest and these things, it's that it's got to bring change. And that's what I'm hopeful for, is that it's got to bring some type of change in the way things are done and the way things are handled, especially on behalf of all these people, man, that are just protesting or trying to peacefully protest. And these other human beings, man, it's their job. They're just being told what to do. It's part of their job, and they're getting involved in this thing. And it's all bad. So that kind of got me thinking. about when the next episode I was going to do and what I'm going to do it about. And I just came to the final conclusion. I was thinking about the time that I started, man. I started the podcast in January 2017. The podcast has been on for 4 years. And I kind of started thinking about the layout of it, how the very first, what we call technically is the first season, I did that for 2 years. And then the third season came out a year and a half after that. So even though it's season 2 in the episodes, this is technically season 4, or should be season 4. And if I was to bring back the podcast next year in January, it would be season 5. It would be season 5. But that, just even then thinking about that, it's always those what ifs. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, I know I had probably did a little bit much. I tweeted something out about this and just kind of, my appreciation for everybody that comes and hangs out. You guys, Griff, Badger, Jules, Koopa, anybody that comes and hang out with brother Knifeflex. It really made me appreciate all you guys, because everybody else that watches is that you could be doing anything else. You could be watching a more entertaining person, a more likable person, but you're here and you're spending time with me and you're giving that time to me, or you're lending it to me. I guess really technically I wouldn't be able to give it back to you, but appreciate that. So thank you guys. Anyways, I went on all that rant on Twitter, but it really got me thinking. It's been 4 years of the podcast. I've come a long way from where I started. Lots of up and downs. It's all on the tweet, but I don't know, man. It really makes me think if the podcast is where I wanted it to be a year ago, in 2000 and the start of 2018, or even the start of 2019, or even the start of 2020. It's fucking crazy. Griff says, and it's fantastic. As weird as it sounds, that it's bringing out the racist shit and putting a massive spotlight on them, because now us normal folk can finally know who to dodge and drop so much more readily. I agree. It really is shining a light, or really spotlighting just individuals that were closeted racist, or they just deep down they're racist. It really helps. As bad as that sounds, that it's helping divide human beings from each other. Definitely the racist persons, the people that are out to just wish ill upon good people just because of their gender, just because of their skin color, because of their sexual preference. All these things easily, I'll say that a million times, easily seen. People portray themselves as best they can, the only way they know how, and sometimes when the only thing that they know is racism, any type of the ism, sexism, genderism. That's not a word probably, but all that's easy to see. Badger says, you're a rare jam pad. Nobody has these venting or uplifting podcasts like you do on Twitch. I'm sure the regulars will always be here for you. It gives people a place to relax and chill, or perhaps vent out or cope. I appreciate that, Badger. And that's, I think in a nutshell, that's what I wanted for the podcast, just to have a safe space and to be able to bring people together, so that way they know that there's people they can trust, or people they can share some of these things that are heavy loads on themselves and their mind, their heart, and not be judged. Just talk about it freely and not be judged, and have a conversation about it. Whether, it is through conversing with, other people's perspectives, other people's opinions. It's in my discretionary warning, leave the judgments at the door. But I appreciate that. It's definitely something that I wanted for the podcast. I don't think I got too far away from that. There was some people that I'd seen on Twitter, for example, Tommy Rama. I thought about it long and hard. I wanted to ask him to be on the show. I wanted to get him on the show, maybe for a conversation or two, because some of the things that he was some of his perspectives and opinions I really, really respected and I really understood, but at the same time it bumped that level of respect, because he didn't just see it one way, and not to shame or to try to put anybody else under the bus, that he saw the things that were one way, but then also understood that there is a second way. There is an alternative to the way the things that you're seeing. And it comes about from either, like myself in my situation, I learned it through practice, through understanding, not really having the exposure, I guess you could say, to many other perspectives and opinions, but kind of learning and teaching myself to understand that there are more. There's more people in this world, and there's more perspectives and opinions than I could even count. Side note, Pat, with everything going on, how's the school prep and Mrs. Pat been doing? School prep is on its way, man. I've registered for my classes. I passed the wait list, so I'm fully registered in 2 classes for this next fall semester, which starts in August. They're both online, which is good. I really don't want to cut into my full-time job too much, but education is important. My first class is English B1A, and my second class is the start of my mechanized agriculture degree, learning anything and everything about mechanized agriculture, going from gas engines to diesel engines. And I actually ended up buying on when was it, Tuesday or Wednesday, I bought my book. So the English class published the books that we're going to be using, so I bought the books. I got one today, which is crazy because Fast Food Nation is one of the books, and then my English book, and then there's another book, some 9th edition English book. But it's going great, and I appreciate you asking. But school prep is going. It's going, man. Days are getting closer. I'm getting more and more nervous, but I'm confident that I know that getting back into it, I know this is very important to me, to my future, so I'm putting 110%. Miss Passman, she's been good. Guys, Pap is killing COVID-19 with his breath. Just kidding, just playing. I know, man. I wish I could kill it. I wish I could. On top of everything that's going on in these times, it's like COVID didn't take a back seat, man. That thing is still going hard. We have cases in Kern County. We are getting more and more cases from Wednesday to Thursday. Tuesday or Wednesday, we had 51 confirmed cases of people sick with COVID-19. And on Thursday, 75 more. So it's the 51 and then plus 75 more. So it's, I think, opening in this phase, opening everything back up is kind of making people, maybe it's just my opinion, I'm assuming making people feel more relaxed. So they're, not wearing masks, they're not washing hands, they're not being very hygienic. So those numbers are bumping right back up. Pep, I can maybe help with the engine stuff. If you got any questions, I deal with people using that equipment every day, and I definitely will be reaching out to you, Brother Netflix. Thank you very much for that offer. I will definitely be reaching out to you for that. And also, I do want to tell you now that you're here, I was going to send you a message as well. I have some things coming up, man. And I want to send you something. And I know it was a while back, you had messaged me something that was going on, and you shared your address. But I definitely want to send you something, man. And especially because I don't know if I'm going to be doing the podcast or continuing the podcast after this next year, once this harvest is over. I definitely want to give you something from the bottom of my heart, man. Just a gift to show my appreciation. You've been here damn near since day one, man. So I really, really appreciate that. Badger says, are you sure it isn't just telling people how to use a damn forklift at work? I just wish I'd let you drive the forklift, Badger. Yeah. Mrs. Pat, hi, welcome. Badger says, I drive a forklift. My luck is going to be that I tap something and the entire warehouse falls down, like in that one video. I've seen that video. I've seen that. Anyways. So, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, anyways, I was just kind of going through and looking at, thinking about the time that I've been doing the podcast and just kind of everything that's been going on. And, harvest is coming up, going to school. I'm going to be going to school. And I I have been falling off. I will be honest with you guys. Full disclosure, I have been falling off on the consistency of the shows with everything that's been going on and everything that's just got just not in the right place for it. And definitely don't want to miss out or not give you guys a level of dedication and consistency that you all deserve as listeners, as friends, listeners, just people that you guys that come and enjoy the show. So I wanted to take just a quick look at some of the things from before it. Maybe just a backtrack. And I know I've done this before where we kind of go back in time a little bit and we just kind of share the time. There's my best friend, confidant, best man at my wedding, on the very first episode that was published on YouTube. Do you, Pat, focus on your mental, physical health first? If it means you're getting better, you're bettering yourself, go for it. We'll be here when you get back. I appreciate that, Nightflex. Speaking of physical health, mental and physical health, also another, look how laggy that was, man. Such a giant forehead. Look at that young kid, man. Beard was growing, had the man bun. The best man was that man bun. That juicy man bun sitting next to me doing the podcast. That's my best friend Rick, man. And yeah, giving them the wink. Give him that wink. Get that wink involved. So anyways, look at that thing. It's just pausing everywhere. Anyways, 4 years, man. 4 years of the podcast. And I went from no, I did some live stuff. and did some live stuff. I think I can't remember if I started doing the live episodes like later on. There's a Pat family. That was a pretty fun day. Oh, I was still vaping at that time. Anyways, I'm not gonna bore you guys with this, man. I'm not going down memory lane. That's just gonna make things worse for me. Anyways, so speaking of the physical health, I have just recently acquired a bicycle. Got myself a road bike, and that is actually also one of the things that I am going to be working on. Is my physical health. I've gained a lot of weight. I won't lie. I've gained a lot of weight recently, and I don't like it. It's not for me. I don't like being heavy the way I am right now. It sucks. So I'll be working on that during this time as well. So harvest, 10 plus hours, Monday through Saturday. School, I'm going to have three credit classes, which is like 12 hours or something like that, for a total that I'm going to be spending studying. And on top of that, I'm going to be getting in on some bike time. So I'm going to be bicycling. I got all my gear and stuff. Got a helmet supposed to be coming in today. I think we've gotten some packages. Maybe we've already got them here. Mrs. Pap is saying she's got her package delivered. So I'm hoping that my packages were also delivered. Pep, if you decided in the podcast, I vote the final season be titled Memories. Cram everyone into the show as much as possible. Season finale, have the family back. I definitely do. And you know what? That's a good point, man. Maybe this one is not the season finale. Maybe I can do something like that. That's a great idea. I love it. I definitely would like to do something like that. Have everybody on the show talk, get some people in Discord. I would buy a PAP DLC. Oh, yeah. Murdoch, welcome to the podcast, brother. Come on in. The PS5. The PS5. It looks nice for 2013 specs. You guys are gonna hate me. This is just my opinion. Please don't hate me too much. I'm a little excited and a little happy that console gaming is starting to catch up to PC gaming in the graphics department. I'm happy. I'm happy about that. The next entire season of PAP is just him chilling, but like blasting targets down range. That might be fun. That might be fun. I'll definitely consider that. It sounds like an interesting. Sounds like an interesting season premiere, I guess I can say. Let's go out to a range or go out to the middle of nowhere and shoot some stuff. I don't know. Do a live stream on site. It could be. Could be. I wouldn't mind that at all. Hitman 3 for PS5? I'm a fan of the franchise. I only played Hitman 2, I think. But it was fun. Jules, how you feel about the PS5, man? Let me know. So, man, it was. It's crazy because every time, going back to the podcast stuff, man, and I hate to keep boring you guys with this crap, but every time I started the podcast, and this is why I know. This is one of the reasons why I don't want to stop doing it. So I don't want to stop doing it just as a hobby because it's something that I'm passionate about. But it's also something that I could appreciate from other people when they can watch a video, watch one of the episodes, listen to the podcast, and learn something, take away something important that they can use later on in life. Some of the things I've learned I would love to teach that some people don't have an outlet for, or they may not have a way to find those things out on their own. That was one of the main things about it. Which is crazy. I know at one point we talked bi-weekly. Oh, that's right. The podcast, doing the podcast bi-weekly. I considered that, but I like the weekly thing. I like the weekly thing, man. I like to when I was doing it weekly. I like to keep checking in and kind of doing stuff with you guys every week, man. Catching up with everybody, how everybody's doing. Share a little bit of my own story in life, what I've been kind of going through recently. It's not important. I'm not self. I don't know. I can't remember what the word for that is, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I was honestly thinking about moving to PC though when everything turns back to semi-normal. PC's always nice. I feel like PC will always kind of have that leg up on consoles as far as graphics go. Some games I give that to console. Some games that are, at least I think they're console only releases. I could be wrong about that. Most of the games on console are for PC if they're ported for PC. If not released at the same time, they're released later on. A game like Cyberpunk 2027 or whatever that is, I don't know if it's coming out for console. I would imagine they're doing a version for console as well, but having games that are just strictly only on PC does kind of give us that advantage because of the hardware that we can stock up on a computer. I was also thinking about we got that. I'm gonna stick with console. Every few years it costs less in the long run for a new console rather than upgrading the PC. That's a good point, Brother Nightflex. I will debate that though. I will debate that for my current situation, the current gaming PC. I built it back in 2017, and it's been going strong. Cyberpunk 2077 is coming to console, but I'm sure that will be best optimized for PC. Yeah, okay. So I didn't know it was coming to console, but that's good. That's good. I'll debate that, Brother Knifeflex, because I've had one PC for 5 years, and technically in those 5 years, I think 3 consoles have released for each, or 2 consoles. I still had an Xbox One, like 2nd or 3rd generation when I finally quit consoles, and then I think the PS4. Oh, never mind. No, I'm completely wrong about that, because Xbox One, there's nothing that came out after that, and then the PS4 was out already. So 5 years ago, since like the last console upgrade was. I don't know why I just said that like Yoda. I don't know. Anyways, I'm wrong about that. I don't know. The point that I was trying to make is, given the right PC, I think that would last you a long time. Now, there's nothing wrong with my gaming PC. I am just gonna be buying a new one. I believe after 5 years, there's newer technology, newer hardware that you can take full advantage of some of these games that are coming out, and that will just look better all around. I'm hoping to try to get enough to about 2021, maybe have that new PC. I don't know. In the state of things, in the current state of things, I don't know if that's gonna be possible. I'm gonna have to hold back on that some. But anyways, I guess technically the point I was trying to make was that given enough time, I guess you can technically have one PC. Nah, fuck. Now I'm just taking down my own argument, my own debate, because 5 years is a long time to have one graphics card. So, for example, in the stream PC, I purchased the 1070. I purchased a 1070, but then after was able to get a 980 Ti. The 980 Ti is working good, but the 2070, the 1070, I don't think that'd be able to handle the newer games just as well. This is something that's been a weird hobby I got into, but also I've been debating about it. Watches. Do you feel like it's a weird hobby? High school and shortly after Badger, I was really into watches. I was never really into watches. I had a couple cool watches. Mrs. Pap gave me one, a black one. It was oh no, she gave me one. I think in high school at some point when we were first dating in high school. She gave me. I had that for the longest. I think we still have it. It just doesn't work. It's a Fossil watch, a silver Fossil watch. It's badass. Then she got me another one, this black one, larger size, 3-4 years ago. And I don't even wear watches. Like, I barely wear my Fitbit tracker. When I had an iOS phone and an iPhone, I had the iWatch, but even then I'd forget it and I wouldn't wear it. I don't know. But that's cool though. Badger, what type of watches are you? By the way, it's not a weird hobby. What type of watches? What type of watches are you trying to get into? So, anyways, I don't know, man. This podcast has definitely been extremely therapeutic for myself, and I hope helping other people. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Is it what I wanted to do? Am I where I should be? Have I not changed anything of the podcast? Like, I've been doing the same scenes, the 2 cameras, the same logo. I mean, I don't know. Maybe a refresh. And I was thinking about that too. Reaching out to people for designs, for updates on, on everything, brands, logos, branding, logos. Maybe update that stuff. Get an intro. I really, really want. Oh, matter of fact, that reminds me. Where is this song? Is it over here in this one? I think it's in this one. Podcast. Stream. schedule, make sure sign. Clips. What did I do with those? Intro. I got something that I want to show you guys. Downloads. Music. No. What'd I do with that? Is it this one? No, it's definitely not this one, but I definitely do want to play this for you guys too.
I understand rage and anger as much as anyone
This
else on
was
the planet.
this was one of the
You want
podcasts.
to be mad? Be mad?
This is I wanted to do a podcast episode on this about tracks. Anyways, let's see what's going on. If need be, take some time off for sure. Temple Pap. What about this podcast? I'm not sure how much change is needed. Perhaps maybe as Netflix said, perhaps some time off from it. Maybe do something else like streaming games for a while. Get with Box, Houdini served. They all there are several others. Badger, I've been trying to get Pap to stream games for a while now. I take that it ain't working. I respect he does. That's just for him and his homies, Badger. I don't mind stream. I used to stream games every now and then. Like something like Pat Plays or Play with Pap. I don't know, something like that. I did for a little bit. I don't mind it. I just don't have the setup for it. Everything that I streamed on was, so check this out. The way I was able to stream was I had to split one of my gaming monitors, split that into two signals, HDMI, 60 frames per second, all crap. Split one main from the gaming, and one will go to my gaming monitor, and the other will go to my streaming rig into my Elgato. No, not Elgato. It's Anyways, one goes to my monitor, one goes to the streaming card, but then that streaming card is split into my viewing monitor, but was changed into the gaming monitor itself. So as I was gaming, that delay would show up on the monitor to stream, but then it would be a different signal going into the streaming card, and it was all bad. And then I found out about the network stuff that Trax was talking about for a while back, and I kind of thought about that. I might be able to get into that. I remember the first season when he streamed Elysium, the battle royale game, and would let us talk about it about whenever. Yeah, I do remember that, man. I thought Elysium was one of the dopest battle royale games I had ever played, and I did get into it, and I wanted to do the road, the thing that mostly everybody does, the road to a solo win, but it didn't catch too well in the US. Some people played it, some people got into it, but it just kind of died. There's more battle royales that came out, and it fell by the wayside. Of course, I'm influenced. I don't want to call myself a streamer, but I was influenced as a gamer by most of the other communities that we all hang out in, with Trex, XCal, Ravage, some of the larger guys, Dr. Disrespect and Lupo and all these guys, even you guys that stream here, that are hanging out with me here. I was influenced by the games you guys are playing. They look fun. I wanted to get into it, but the more and more I thought about it, the more and more the games kind of fell by the wayside, and I just stopped streaming games. I just dedicated myself wholly and strictly only to doing the podcast. Elysium was still fighting COD and Fortnite, even the remnants of H1. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Elysium lost big time to Fortnite. A lot of games at first lost to Fortnite. COD, I think Black Ops 4, I think was, or what was the Battle Royale one? Anyways, that one. But back to what I was saying over here on this one. Something that I wanted to talk about and I thought was really I thought this was really, really special. Let me see if I can do this. Okay, here we go. Oh man, I don't have the other regular chat in here. Oh, blackout. That's right. Okay. So let me do something really quick. Here it is. Okay. Copy. Paste. Oh, it's already in here. What? It was already in here. Oh, but I just had to take this one off. Okay. Oh, there it is. It's on the right-hand side, duh. Okay. Let me turn this up here really quick. I really wanted to talk about this, and I thought this was so insightful. Something that Trek said on stream about anger, and I thought it was really, really introspective.
I understand rage and anger as much as anyone else on the planet. All right. If you want to be mad, be mad. If you want to channel it, but just beware of who you might hurt. That's where you gotta, and where you lay destruction, rebuild with strength. Does that make sense? Am I crazy?
Oh man, I love Trex, man. Trex is one of my biggest heroes and influencers as just overall a streamer, just somebody insightful, smart. They can have a conversation openly and freely. I really wanted to get him on the show. Things just never really lined up for us, which is okay. In retrospect, it's fine. I'm not super bummed about it, but that would have been fun. That would have been really fun. Turn this music down a little bit. So what I was actually looking for is something else. Here it is.
Pap, are you still chilling?
So let's get this one here on stream here. Okay, that's definitely not the one that I wanted. So if you guys don't know, Globin, excellent, just all around nice guy, incredible, super talented. He did a little something, and I'll never forget him, and I can't thank him enough. And I really, really want something like this, if not this very thing, if not from Globin, but from somebody in our circles, in our community circles, to do something like this, and something for the show, man. It's just science.
If Pap's here, I have an idea. No, I'm not playing no goddamn. Okay, there's Pap. All right, I got one for Pap.
All right, let's turn the music down.
First, right?
Science first.
Science first.
Science.
P. Smith, you ready?
It's for science.
You had a snooter in the bottle, and
so
in 3,
just really
2,
quick,
1.
before he does that, I just want to say, let this be known: this stream does not belong to me. I am not owning the right. I do not own the rights to this. I was allowed to use this on stream by the person that's there on screen. What is the deal with this thing? Oh, here we go. Okay. I was allowed to use this on stream for viewing purposes. Again, I say this clip does not belong to me. It belongs to another streamer. I am not pretending to own this. I am borrowing this only for the purpose of creativity. Creative Commons. There we go. All right, let's get this on.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Look, no face. It's so smooth. Oh,
Yeah, it is.
bottle of that. Oh, I don't
Beautiful
want to,
face.
but-
Beautiful man's here.
Yeah.
For science. Purely for
This
science.
is the best concert you're going to see this year because there's going to be.
I'm
no
not playing the
concerts
whole
ever.
song because I don't remember how all of it goes, but this song is dedicated to Pap.
This is
And
fucking
his
incredible,
wonderful
man.
P90 that he had the other day. I don't have a strap for this guitar, so it's also going to be like,
Do you want me to hug you from behind?
yeah.
I don't know how this is going to work, but we'll try it. I'm going to do like the one leg air stand. All right, Pat, this one's for you.
Thank you, brother.
I've played this before.
Thank you, Brother Globin. I appreciate that.
Disclaimer. I don't really remember how it goes.
So like I was saying, something like this, just all around, just something special from somebody created
This song goes out to Pat.
for the podcast. Just something beautiful.
All
Just
of the gifted subs, the
just
support that he's given
creativity.
me, everyone in this community.
I'm gonna get tear. I'm
The
gonna tear up,
P90 that
man.
he created was full of some ethnic tunes. So I thought that I would also play an ethnic tune for you.
Thank you, sir. Anyways,
So much drama in
thank you
the
guys for
movie.
joining me on the show.
Kinda hard
Just want to say this while this beautiful man is singing this song here, tributed to me.
Somehow, some way, keep coming up with funky ass shit like every single day. Yeah. Can I give you a little something?
Oh man, this is fucking incredible.
Make a few friends as a breeze through.
I don't know why that did that.
Party's still jumping, 'cause my mama ain't home.
So anyways, like I'm saying, like this, I really want something special like this. Like this is really, really special to me. Really, really special. He took the time to do this. Dedicated it to me out of his own kindness, and it's fucking incredible.
But what? We don't have them hoes, and we're gonna smoke an ounce today. G's up, hose down like you motherfuckers bounce tonight.
Sipping on
And
gin
I've been
and
rolling
juice.
down the street, smoking Indo, sipping on gin and juice, laid back. My mind and my money and my money and my mind. Rolling down the street, smoking Indo, sipping on gin and juice, laid back. My mind and my money and my money and my mind. That's for you, Pat.
God
Thank
damn
you
it,
so
man.
much.
God damn
Thank
it.
you so much for all the gift subs, dude. And
What a beautiful man right there on the screen, man.
the support that you give to everyone in this community.
No thanks needed,
It is
man.
a wonderful time.
No thanks needed.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm glad. I'm glad to be as supportive as I can be in any way that I can be, as often as I can be. It's well deserved, man. And sometimes I wish I can give more. I damn near want to give my heart out. As cheesy as that sounds, just give my heart to my heart's content. I guess would probably stated better. Just do it. Just I don't know, man. I don't know. There's so much other stuff that can go on. So I don't know. Maybe something like that. Something special just for the show. Maybe redo the logos, the designs. Maybe come back with a fresh plate. I really like the live stuff, but I also like the pre-recorded stuff. Now I don't want to do any pre-recorded videos unless I really have to. But I guess that just goes back to the consistency. How consistent do I want to be? How consistent do I want to remain for people that want to hang out and just listen? I've never done that. What is that thing where people play the videos and they're not even like, they don't even have to do live, but it's live, but it's a pre-recorded thing. I don't know. I feel like I lose that connection with everybody, with everybody that's watching the show live. And likewise to the people that are listening. I mean, listen to just the podcast. Yeah, the replay stuff. I love that people, if anybody out there does, that listen to the audio on the podcast, on the podcast platform. But it's really great to watch live, man. I really, really, really encourage that the most, watching people watch the show live, just for that authentic interaction. facial expressions, reactions, things like that. I think it really, really kind of locks in and hones in on the feeling that I'm going through at that time. Anyways, I've looked into, I think it's called Fiverr or something like that, for logos and branding and stuff like that. Just legit stuff, just things that I know that I can own aside from the handshakes. You know, I really like the handshake, and I like that's the universal. I feel like it's the universal, you know, PAP signature is the handshakes, the black and white handshakes. It's straight, it's simple. Something with Bakersfield Incorporated. I don't know. Maybe I should just do that and then restart the show in January. If I do, definitely will be reaching out. Knifeflex, thank you very much for that list of people. I am definitely going to be reaching out, paying what I need to. Well-deserved payments for the hard work that people put into the products that they're selling, and all that good stuff. Of course. But maybe the rebrand, the refresh, come back. I definitely want to do an open dialogue. Given the chance to still come back, just having that open dialogue with people, having an open space where people can come and hang out. I even considered instead of doing like you said, Nightflex, instead of doing the weekly thing, doing a bi-weekly. Do the bi-weekly thing and then also incorporate something else bi-weekly, like the podcast that you Nightflex, yourself, myself, and McDo wanted to do. I'm really interested in that. I know it doesn't align right because the time difference, but I think at some point in time, man, it'd be great to have something like that. It'd be great to have you guys and to do something a little bit different, a little bit more risque, a little bit more on edge. Just, you know, things that you know can be hush hush, but also can be talked about, you know, in a respectful way. Anyways, I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I just know that I want to thank you guys for coming and hanging out. Brother Knifeflex, words can't describe how grateful I am for all your support. Many times in the podcast, man, when it was just you and I on the show, man, we were just having a conversation, even if it was through chat. The times that you joined me on the show, man, thank you very much. Badger, thank you very much. Murdoch came in and hung out for a little bit. Jules, my nephew Jules, thank you. Who else was in here? Koopa was in here. Griffin, thank you very much, man. But anyways, oh yeah, and also what was that? Lua something came in talking about facking or something. I don't know what that was, but thank you for hanging out at Mixer, for hanging out. I don't know. I think that's it, man. This is it's a bittersweet sign off. I don't want to end it. There's much conversation that I would like to have, but too much sadness, man. Too much sadness right now. Too much bad things going on in the world. It's easy to steer away from it, man, but I think being ignorant of it, even though ignorance is bliss and we can ignore all these things that are going on, it's hard to not be a part of it. I mean, it's hard not to have it a part of your life. And I don't know, man. It's tough to ignore it. For me personally, anyways. I'll just say that. For me personally, it's hard to ignore. I get really passionate about it. I think maybe the bi-weekly stuff. Pep, ending tonight's podcast just sets up for a fresh start tomorrow. That's a good point, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, brother Netflix. What was this thing on? I think there's effects that I never used on this mixer that I was playing with the other day, and I just never used them. So apparently this is some sort of radio. And I don't know what this one is. Test. Oh, there it goes. Some sort of do your own intro voice. I should, huh? Now introducing the Pure Advice Podcast. I probably should. I mean, it wouldn't be too crazy. Whoa. I mean, there's always the pitch change. I guess technically. So even if I did something like this, it'd be crazy, right? I mean, if Shred Savage can Bruce Buff, you got this, pal. All right. And then we go to completely the other side. I don't know. So like I was saying, I was playing with that shit the other day. Just pretend you're doing the intro for the early 90s Chicago Bulls. That's true. Which one is it? Where's that? There we go. So let's do vocal echo. I don't know where it's going to... Okay, here we go. So let's do this. Yeah. This next player from Bakersfield in the Central Valley, the Pure Advice Podcast. I don't know, just some fucking dumb shit. I was playing with it the other day, Nightflex. I was like, what are these sounds anyways, man? I've never used them. I never applied them at any point in time. Why not mess with them? So I was kind of fucking messing with them the other day. I don't know what this is. Oh. Okay. All right. Introducing. That one's crap. Anyways, I'm gonna end this here. I don't want to bore you guys to death. I've already done enough of that for the last hour. How long have I gone live? An hour and 13 minutes. Let's see. All right. Yeah, let's just end it here. We're going to end it. Thank you guys very much for coming in and hanging out with me this Friday evening, June 12th. I want to call it the season finale, the last episode. I really don't want to end it so abruptly without at least doing something good or going out on a good note. But I don't know how. Maybe get the family here. I don't know when's the next time I'll have all the family in one spot. But I'll definitely consider. I'll call this the end for now. I don't know. I don't know about season. Anyways, if I do, like I was saying, it's gonna have to be season 5. 2021 is gonna be the 5th year for the podcast. I would be starting a 5th year. And if things go right, man, honestly, if things go right and I do some of these moves and I kind of refresh the brand and the logo and all that good stuff, intro music, all that stuff, it would be just nice to get that back. But it requires a lot of time that I'm not going to have. I don't want to put the podcast and end the podcast forever, but I don't see a whole lot of time between working full time, 10, 11, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, working full time, school part time, trying to work on my physical health. I don't know how I'm going to do that. It's worth a shot to try and figure out. It's worth a shot trying to work it out and doing it. I just don't know how I'm going to do it right now. So, Bittersweet end, Brother Knifeflex. I will keep in contact with you. I consider you a valued and trusted friend. I will definitely keep in contact with you. Of course, anybody else who watches the shows, listening on the podcast platforms, you guys can find the podcast on Facebook and Instagram, even though I don't check the Instagram too much, and that's something I got to work on. Twitter, I'm the most active on Twitter. Just reach out. I may do snippets. I may do little mini things. I don't know. Maybe the audio, maybe little videos on the podcast. We, unfortunately, as calling it this as an end, we only got to 50 subscribers, and I thank every single one of you for subscribing, all 50 of you. I did have a giveaway at 100 subscribers for the YouTube channel. Just search Pure Advice Podcast on YouTube. You can find all the backlogged podcast episodes there. I will still keep an eye on it. I am going to keep my word about that. Should the day come when we reach 100 subscribers on YouTube and get the official youtube.com/Pure Advice Podcast, I will keep my word, and I will still do that giveaway. A $50 giveaway. What did I say? $50 or $150? I think. Giving away to a charity of your choice, giving away to a streamer on behalf of your name, or given to you if you want to keep the $50 Amazon gift card, monetary gift card, etc., whichever way. I'm not going to be choosy about it. I definitely still want to do that. So, with that being said, let's call it a day here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys very much for all your dedication and listening to the show. People that came in and hung out live, everybody that contributed even from day one of the podcast, the questions when we were first doing pre-recorded shows on the podcast platform and the audio platforms, questions. Shout out to my man Watts, Rick, Knifeflex, Rocco. He was on the show. The Trex was on the show. Xcal was on the show once. Sandy, even though it was just a quick raid on the show. A lot of friends here that came on the show with me, my family, and the biggest one, I think the most important one, is Mrs. Pap, for all the love and support and care that she provided me and motivated me to continue to do the show. So if this is the end, I want to give a proper ending to the show. I'll still be hanging out and stuff on social medias and things, just won't be doing the show, I guess. And then when the day comes that we come back, then we'll get it back on. So thank you, Brother Knifeflex. I need to reach out to you, and we need to talk about some things that I want to get over to you. Just small gifts of my appreciation, and thank you very much for everything you do, man. So let's do it. We're gonna do this right. An appropriate song. Let's do it. Peace.
Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear, driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun. Feel the wind in my hair,